If you think procrastination is not laziness, it's protection, let me ask you something that might sound weird at first. Now, what if your procrastination is actually trying to help you? What if your procrastination isn't about being high achieving but about staying safe? I know this sounds backwards, but just hear me out. And the more I sat with this idea, the more it made sense. Because if you're someone who's building something, either it's a business, it's a restaurant, it is a personal brand or career, anything, it applies anything to and everywhere, that these habits don't show up randomly. They're strategies, they're your brain scoping strategies. Here's the wildest thing. Procrastination is rarely about time management, it is about emotional management. And if you think while procrastinating you're saving time or you're saving your peace and putting things off, it's not how it works. You're not avoiding the task, you're actually avoiding what that task means to you. Because launching that website might expose you, posting that video reel, you might get judged. Reaching out to that prospect, you might get rejection. So, what do we do instead when it comes to, actually doing the stuff and not procrastinating? What do we do instead? We scroll, we overthink, we optimize, we try to optimize our time, we rewrite the caption for the 12th time, we redo the websites over and over again in fear, which disguises itself as planning and not laziness. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Procrastination protects your current identity, the one that says, I'm figuring it out, I'm working on it, I'm planning to start soon. Because the moment you actually do the thing, you risk proving you're not as good as you want to be. In a weird way, if I say, your brain thinks it's doing you a favor because you risk proving you're not as good as you want to be, you risk being seen, you risk being judged, you risk failing publicly. That's the emotional equivalent to your time management when it comes to procrastination. And it's keeping you safe from the emotional discomfort of being vulnerable, imperfect, and exposed. You don't want that. You want to be in that comfort zone. Perfectionism works the same way. We think it's about high standards, but most of the time it's about control. If I can just make this reel perfect, no one can criticize me. If I can wait until my website looks flawless, I will launch it. If I wait until the sales page is flawless, no one can say it's amateur and no one can, say no to me. But here's the thing, perfect is never the goal. It's just a barrier between you and the action. And that action is actually leading you to your goals. So you're just delaying your goals. That's all that you're doing. It's a shield we use. It's like a barrier that we use to delay the judgment and delay the growth. That is all that it is. Right? I hope this makes sense. And with this, I started not just asking myself, I started to see this also. What's the identity I'm trying to protect when I procrastinate? What is it that, or what version of me is it protecting? For me, it was always this version of me that's capable, smart, creative. So if I put something out and it flops, then what does that say about me? And to avoid that possibility that, what would someone think of me? What would someone, uh, judge me for? How do I look? How do I talk? I to avoid that possibility, I delay. I overthink. I wait for the right time. I keep scrolling. My scroll time used to be 6-7 hours, which was insane. You don't want to spend that time scrolling. You want to spend that time creating. So I wait for the right time, which never came and would never come. It's always the now that you have to take an action in. But all that really does is guarantee the thing that never gets tested. There is a creative, or there's this very beautiful video that I saw a few days ago. It was divided into three parts, At the top there was a goal, then there were a few obstacles that were going from left to right constantly. There were two bows and arrows, so it indicated basically two people. So the first person was uh, trying to make efforts to reach to the goal that's on the top, and trying to really uh, throw the arrow via the bow, um, 3, 4, 5 times, and it eventually hit. And the second person was constantly trying to find the right path and right way to not hit the obstacles and hit the target at the same time. So when that person was trying to do the perfect thing, the first person, the A person, really made the effort multiple times, failed, made the effort again, and won, even before the second person could make the first effort. So that's a real cool video that I saw a few days ago. If I find it again, I'll definitely put it here. But like I was saying, untested ideas don't grow, they just evolve, they just live in the potential zone forever. Because if you're not taking action for it, the world is going to change anyways. If you're not going to change, nothing is going to change. Now here's the truth that I had to sit with was, fear doesn't go away by waiting. It doesn't. Fear always goes away by looking it in the eye. It goes away by moving, it goes away by taking action. It doesn't have to be a fast action, it doesn't have to be a messy action, it just has to be forward and towards the goals. It just have to be consistent and just forward. Just go, do something. So now when I procrastinate, or that feeling of perfectionism creeps in, although it does, I'm not perfect, I don't shame it, but I actually ask myself as long as I can, and as often as I can, which is, what am I trying to protect myself from right now? Even if I don't post this video, what would I be thinking of? Like, would you judge me? Would I feel embarrassed? Would you think I talk slowly and take a lot of breaks? Yes, I would think that, but I would post it anyway. And second question I would ask is, what discomfort am I avoiding? The discomfort I'm avoiding is of maybe toxic comments, negative comments. That's something that I would be avoiding. Just to give you an example, it could be embarrassment, it could be the unknown, that I don't know what might come my way. It could be not being the best in the room, and then I would remind myself, if my future self has the results I want, they probably took the action before they felt ready. So they probably launched before it was perfect. So even if this video is not perfect, I can make it perfect the next time. Or maybe if it's not perfect, that's fine. That is completely fine. Because I probably cringed at the first version or the previous videos, and that's why they have version 20, right? That's why you start from version 1. iPhone never thought of adding AI to their fifth phone, like iPhone 5. They eventually came to it. They tried to make efforts every year to make certain changes, and that's what we all need to do. We need to start from version 1 of ourselves and then reach to the version 20, 25, however many versions there would be. Now there's a small exercise that I found it in a book. I'm not sure what it was, or maybe I read it somewhere. It's a very simple exercise. I don't do it often, but I do it sometimes whenever I'm reminded of it. It's called the 3-minute mirror. You write down one task that you're avoiding right now. You open your diary, you write it down. Write the exact fear behind it. What are you really afraid of will happen if you do it? And you ask yourself, what would my ideal self do? You do it for 3 minutes. You just put in your thoughts, just sit down for a minute or two. You write things down, and you make sure that the answer that you have for the third answer makes you stand up and makes you do something. And that's it. It's not perfectionism, not completion, not anything. You just sit for a few minutes and you identify what you wish you had done before, and you could just start now. So now is the best time for anything. So if you have not started investing, now is the right time. If you have not started working out, now is the best time. Now is really the best time. And procrastination and perfectionism aren't flaws, it's completely fine. They protect you from something, it's just the way you use it has to change. Don't, if even if your colleague or your partner or anybody is procrastinating and trying to do the things perfectly, just remind them it's all right. It's okay to be afraid of something, but just remind yourself and remind themselves that what would their ideal self do, and would they take action early or would they not, because these actions are actually delaying your progress, your goals. That's all it is doing, nothing else. So your fear is not going to go with time, it's going to go with action. And you're not behind, you are just avoiding things and it's time to walk through it. That's all that I had to talk about. If you have any questions, any ideas, anything that you want to say, or anything that you have been avoiding, you can comment down below. See you in the next one.